for some reason. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And it's pretty late for you. So for me, it is almost 8 o'clock right now. What time is it for you?
It is 2 minutes to one.
2 minutes to one. So if he starts getting a little drowsy, we know why, guys. But I'm sure that won't happen. We're gonna keep the conversation moving. Wicked Constructs, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thank y'all for coming in, guys. We got who else we have? I saw Crazy Creations. There you are. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see everybody in here tonight. We got everybody joining us everywhere. So we are yeah, I think we're good to go. So let me know, guys. This is the last point where we test the audio. I'm going to ask Darren, what are you drinking? Do you have anything that you're drinking tonight?
I have tea.
Tea. How British.
Yes. I it's stone cold. It's about 2 hours old now,
Oh,
but
okay.
yes, I've been nursing this one.
I love it. I love it. Guys, everything, can you hear him fine? Does he need to be louder? Does he need to be softer? Just let me know.
Hello, hello, testing, testing.
He looks good to me. I am a little bit louder than him. He's at the wrong pub. I don't think he's at a pub. Now,
I'm not at a pub. No.
that's, that maybe one day I'll get over there. I want a real Guinness. Like nobody knows how to pour a Guinness around here.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. So like they don't even get their glass right. Like you'll walk into a restaurant and order one and they'll like 30 seconds later come back with a glass and you're like, okay, there's no way you did that the right way.
No.
So
I don't drink anymore, but I used to, and I did enjoy a Guinness. So yeah, I totally understand that it takes a little bit longer than the 30 seconds to pour a decent Guinness.
oh yeah, and I have a friend who went to Scotland and got the certification, learned how to pour it,
Oh,
and so
really?
yeah, and
I didn't know that was such a thing.
yeah, I guess you go to the business and they have a whole class on it where you go spend the whole day and you learn how to you turn the glass sideways and you hit certain
Yeah,
points and the shape of the glass and why it's shaped that way and he loves talking about it. It's pretty awesome.
I heard that it's good to have a head on your drink because it keeps the bubbles in. It keeps it,
Okay.
with certain drinks. If you if you pour like a Coke or something, if you pour it so it doesn't fizz up,
Right.
then you it goes flatter quicker. So there you
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
Little bit of knowledge there.
That's great. That is awesome. Okay, guys. Keep now. Remember the show. Remember what this show about, guys. It's about getting to know the creators and makers that we love. So y'all have got to do some things here. This is your responsibility. I can only talk to Darren and Darren can talk to me. We can't do anything else. We don't have time. So you
Hmm.
guys need to send out the links. You need to share. You need to tell everybody that this interview is going on, right? Because we do this because we want to meet cool people, right? And I think Darren's cool. I've heard a lot of really, really good stuff about him. My friend Chris Blazing Prince over there has talked to me about him a little bit. Matter of fact, that's why this interview kind of happened was through Chris, and that's how we met.
100%.
And
Yeah.
so we want to meet cool people. We want to get to know the creators and makers that we love, and we also want to expose them to a new audience. So that's the new audience part is what is really, really important. So I need y'all to share this out. I need you to let everybody know. What's up, CES Design? How are you doing? Good to see you. But keep getting everybody in here. We're going to take a little bit of time here just to make sure everybody's here. I think all of our numbers are looking great. Hey, Nate, how are you? We got Cross Creation Design Studio coming in here. Thank you, guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. Now, y'all remember, this show is as recorded. So I am going to flub this intro so badly today, and it will live on in posterity. I have not rehearsed it. I haven't done anything. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee.
I'm rather enjoying the phrase flub.
Flub, yes. I think that's where I start the old challenge, guys. Flub. All right. So y'all have to come up with an older word than that. All right. So if everybody's audio, everybody give me the thumbs up. What's up, Toolingly? Everybody give me a thumbs up. Give me the thumbs up. You can't hear anything. I got somebody who can't hear anything. That does not make any sense to me. Give me one moment. Let's see what's going on. I've got one place where they're saying they cannot hear, so we're going to fix this. You should be hearing everything. There's nothing that you should not be, it should all be there. I'm seeing all the signals. I'm even seeing it when I go where you are. So I'm not sure what's going on.
The gremlins are active
guys
tonight.
We have had some crazy gremlins tonight. Crazy gremlins. So pull fingers out of the ears. What's up, 3D everything? So so 3D prints by Vic. Are you still experiencing that? Are you still having the issue that you're saying? Let me know, because there should not be anything that you're not hearing, because when I go, I hear it. And then we'll get the show started. Sorry, guys. I don't mean for this to be boring up front. I really don't. But keep sharing this out while we're going. I'm double checking, and because I want to make sure everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets to hear and know what's going on. So we're gonna keep going. All right. Maybe I should sing a song. I'm not singing a song tonight, guys. Sorry. Not tonight.
You can't tease us with that now. You have to sing something.
I'm just reading the room. Let's see. Come on, live. There we go.
Well, they all telling you not to sing now.
No, somebody was saying I should. I'm like, nah, not tonight. Not tonight. I got too much going on tonight. I don't even have anything prepared. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I do not have anything.
You need to drink some honey and lemon, smooth those vocal cords.
Well, especially after 3D Printopia. Guys, I'm hearing everything everywhere when I go to the places. We're going to hear a major echo when I do this. Yep. So I'm hearing that. I'm going to check one more place and see what's going on. I apologize, guys. I do apologize. I don't mean for this to be like this, but I just want to make sure everybody can hear before we get started. We're 30 more seconds. And then we will get this show started if I can find the right keys to type. Yep. There we go. I hear it right there. So we are in. We've got it everywhere. I'm satisfied. Sorry if you can't hear it, guys. Something else is going on your end, because I am seeing it everywhere, and we're going to get this show started. All right. So y'all get ready, guys. I'm going to get the intro. Hey, Darren, I'm going to push you off the screen. Remember your word. We're going to try to do the word again, guys. We're going to try to do the word again. So here we go. And here's the intro that I am going to flub. Y'all ready? All right. Thank y'all, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Asylum Live, October 2nd, 2025, with our special guest, Darren from Raven Crown Studio. Darren, what's your word for the day?
Squirrel.
Squirrel. I like the way he says that. Squirrel. Anyway, guys, if you don't know how this show works, if you're not familiar with it, this is the show where we talk to the creators and makers that we love. The whole idea is to get to know them, not what they do, but the stuff behind the scenes and why they do what they love. So without further ado, we're going to ask the very first question. So Darren, how do you feel about this?
Oh, my English heart. I can't take it.
Anyway, that was told to me in your Discord today. So talk to me about this. What's the whole tea dumping? I mean, I assume it has something to do with Boston, right?
Yes.
Okay. and you seem to have an opinion or something on it.
Well, yes, this is all Frostbit's fault. He's He's taken much too much joy in trying to wind me up about dumping all the tea in the water. Um, Something about a tea party in Boston. Um, I don't know. I don't care for it because I'm English and I don't want to talk about wastefulness of one of the best drinks ever made. So, yeah,
Ooh, and so,
that's my opinion on
such a tea guy,
it.
such a tea guy. That was that is an interesting part of history, and it's interesting to think like that was the East India Company, right? Like one of the
Yeah.
largest companies ever in the history of the UK. And the ship, and we talk about the taxes around it and all the different things that happened just historically. One of the things that was funny to me was that there was one person injured in the Boston Tea Party. I don't know if you know that. And
No.
it was one of the Tea Party guys. He slipped and hit his head on an anchor. And so the guys grabbed him and rolled him
Oof.
up under a net and left him there for the rest of the night. And then the next morning, and this is very colonial, very British, very the people who came and dumped the tea came back and replaced all of the locks themselves because they had to cut them. And so they came back and replaced all the locks. And the guy was still asleep, so they picked him up off the boat and walked him away.
Oh.
So it's an interesting part of history. But I think it shows an interesting idea of that time that they came back and replaced the locks, right?
Yeah, right.
It's just a
Yeah.
different time. It's like we'd cut the locks and be like, "Rrr, bully on you," right? And just leave it be.
Yeah, I mean, Frost. He's when we first started talking, it was like he was having his own Boston Tea Party every time he spoke to me.
That's funny.
Yeah, and he's invited me on fishing trips and but with one condition that I throw some tea in the ocean.
There you go. There you go. That's funny. So now,
Yeah.
so you've got a pretty big obsession with tea, from my understanding. Like you're drinking it now. The whole tea party thing they pick on you about, but like you're a tea guy, right?
Well, yeah, you say that. I mean, I enjoy I enjoy my my evening tea. Um, but honestly, I drink a lot of coffee.
Okay.
Coffee is my fuel for the day, you know.
Okay.
I have I drink a mushroom coffee in the morning. It has a really high caffeine content, so you're only allowed one
Yeah, which
one
mushroom coffee have you settled on?
space goods.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, I forget what they call it. It's I forget the name of it. Space dust.
Space dust.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's got lion's mane, um, and some other. I can't think of the names of them now, but yeah, it doesn't taste the mushrooms though, which is good.
Right.
Um, I just have it with my breakfast, and yeah, it gets those old cogs whirring pretty quickly.
Yeah. And I've been experimenting with mushroom tea or mushroom coffee, whichever way you want to look at it. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because there have been some good effects. Now we have a bunch of different ones. Rise is one of the ones I tried, and I don't know if
Oh
y'all
yeah.
have it. It kind of tastes like the bottom of a shoe. It's kind of kind of but y'all also drink Earl Grey over there, so I think there's probably some taste that's a little bit different.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. My wife she loves an Earl Grey. Personally, I can leave that.
Okay.
I don't mind it. It's quite refreshing, but it's not something that I would it's not my go-to. I prefer a good old English breakfast
Okay.
tea. So,
Okay.
one of the brands that we like over here is Yorkshire tea.
Okay.
So yeah,
They've,
that's a good one.
they've got the fancy boxes, don't they? Like they're drawn on or something, if I remember correctly.
Um, yes, I think there's an illustration on their box, but there's another company that's also quite famous over here is Twinings,
Okay. I don't know that
and
one.
they're quite a fancy brand.
Okay.
well,
Okay.
they portray themselves as a fancy brand.
I know. I generally lean into like the Pooh Air and the, the rice teas and those. That's kind of where I sit when it comes to tea, but I do drink a lot of tea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot, and there was a kind of explosion of different brands, you know, like fruit teas and herbal teas and things like that over here. But I've tried a lot, but I still go back to the English breakfast. That's
Okay.
my
Okay. Cool.
I'm a
I can
simple
get
guy.
that. I like that one. And then yeah, simple. Sometimes simple and plain is just,
Hmm.
that's where it is. Well, cool. Well, guys, we'll stop talking and encouraging each other in our habits, and we'll get into some of the other topics. Um but so printing, 3D printing, 3D design, that is kind of where you sit in the world right now, correct?
Yes,
Mm.
very much so.
And now would you consider yourself more of a designer or a 3D printer?
Designer for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I love the aspect of the 3D printing, and I have one myself. But I'm sure we'll get into that in a minute.
Prior to 3D printing, did you do any other type of design?
Yeah, I've done lots of stuff really. I've illustrated comics. Uh, I've done a lot of vector artwork.
Okay.
That's using like Adobe stuff,
Yeah.
and my the one that I use all the time now is Affinity. That was a one-time purchase, and
Okay.
because Adobe can do one with their subscription service, honestly.
Yeah. Is it a vector? Is Affinity a vector program as well?
It is, yeah. They
Okay.
have a suite of programs too. Like so Affinity Designer is their vector program, and then they have trying to think of the other names. They have like their own version of InDesign and their own version of Photoshop,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
I'll have
So
to look at
yeah.
that because I do the Adobe thing, but I don't use the video stuff. I'm a DaVinci Resolve guy, but I have
Right.
to have Illustrator and I need Lightroom, right? That's kind of where I live.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if I could replace the vector side, that would be beautiful, but I haven't ever found a good vector program.
It's pretty good. They've been bought out by Canva. So
Oh.
um and they're teasing changes and things. So they do have an iPad app as well.
I gotcha.
Um, but yeah, I find it pretty good. I
Okay.
used I used Illustrator for years. I used to work for sign design companies. So I used to design signs that go up on shop fronts and things like that. Um, and Adobe was Illustrator and Photoshop were the go-to programs. They was kind of
Yeah.
industry standard.
Yeah.
So um, so coming from that background, so when I try out other softwares, I mean, it's been a while since I used an Adobe product now, probably 5 years now since I last used an Adobe one. But yeah, for what I need and what I use it for, Affinity's great. It's
Okay.
well worth checking out.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that because I'm so looking for the replacement. If I could just get my subscription down to Lightroom only, that would be a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. And it's so hard to get out of the Lightroom ecosystem just with the way the editing and everything. I just haven't. Maybe there's another suggestion somebody has for that, but I don't mind paying for Lightroom. It's the rest of the stuff.
Hey, and the software is, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
You know, they do have they do innovate, and they they have things that other softwares don't. How necessary some of those are, I don't know.
right.
Um, but it's not that the software's bad. I just don't like the fact that they're charging every month for it.
That's what kills me. It's that $50
Yeah.
every month that drives me nuts. So designers, so you've done that kind of stuff. And what brought you into kind of
Hmm.
the 3D space?
I've always dabbled with 3D. Generally speaking, when I first saw, let me think now. So going back to seeing things like Toy Story, even early stuff like the film Flight of the Navigator.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
I think it was a Spielberg film,
Yeah.
and like the spaceship, and then the steps that came down, and blew my mind. And I thought, and so once I learnt that was in 3D, that was like that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I never really found my niche though, and up until recently. But seeing all that stuff was what triggered it, and then there was Toy Story, and then Shrek, and all that stuff, and it just you know it just really piqued my interest, and then I started watching kids shows because I was interested in the 3D side of it and the effects that they used and how they managed to light the models and things like that.
Right.
Um, and I wanted to venture into animation, and I've dabbled, but it's I don't know, the work reward ratio for that for me
Mm-hmm.
wasn't where I wanted to be
Gotcha.
really. Um,
Gotcha. So
whereas sorry.
so no, you're fine. You're fine. Um, I've got some weird music happening over here. I'm trying to stop.
I did wonder what that was.
Give you 1 sec. There we go. Okay. All
I
right.
was getting into that.
I know we were kind of going for the elevator thing, right? Anyway, so
Yeah,
I was
right.
trying to do too much. So what software did you start with then? So you were kind of doing more of moving 3D kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I started well, I always try to introduce 3D a 3D workflow into whatever job I was working. I used to work in point of sale as well,
Right.
like designing stuff for that. Um, and I always try to use 3D software to help myself work out how things worked and click together kind of thing. Um, and I use software like people probably never heard of these, like Strata 3D.
Yep.
Um, that was I loved using that. That was great fun. I've used Lightwave.
Lightwave was good. I really enjoyed working with Lightwave when I had the chance.
It was nice. I took out a bank loan so I could buy the
I
software,
bet.
and
I bet.
I had to, and it was only for personal use. I didn't have a reason to, but I was just so enthralled by being able to do stuff in 3D
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So,
a
but now
lot of
the
your
options
TV
are
shows,
different.
yeah, a lot of your TV
Yeah.
shows use Lightwave. Like I think Babylon 5 and some of those other older shows like that were using Lightwave. And it was a good one. So what have you moved into now? What are your go-to 3D programs?
Okay. So, budget wise, I now flip between Blender and Nomad Sculpt. In fact, I'm more on Nomad Sculpt than anything else now.
Okay.
Its simplicity and its ease of use has got me smitten. It's just such a good program.
Yeah. A lot of people love it. And it's probably the one program I've seen that was so much about the clay, right? You're really
Yeah,
shaping and
yeah, for
if you
sure.
on your iPad and stuff, it seems like when I play with it, you feel like you're actually pushing and pulling and doing things that feel a little more real than usual.
You feel more connected to what you're doing through Nomad. Whereas Blender has, I would argue, a stronger suite of tools.
Hmm.
It's not as intuitive. In fact, I don't find it intuitive at all
Yeah.
by comparison. It's very menu centric, and very shortcut centric. If you don't know the shortcuts, you're going to be spending a lot of time going through the menus
I
trying to find things. And
totally agree with that.
so with Nomad, it's kind of it's there, and I use it with. I have an iPad Air with the Apple Pencil Pro,
Hmm.
and to be able to just tap on something and then twist the pencil, and that would twist the clay is
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
It just feels really natural.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So do you teach classes? Do you just kind of design in the background and then show what you do? How deep into that do you get?
I really, it's something I discovered about myself that I really enjoy sharing what I've learned
Okay.
while I'm learning it. So, so I don't necessarily know what I'm doing, but if like for instance, when I'm streaming on TikTok, if I discover something that really gets me fired up, I get really excited about the new thing that I found, and I want everyone to know about it. So I start trying to share that on my lives,
Right.
and then what results is usually me playing about for half an hour trying to work out what that button just did. So,
Right. That's
you
cool.
know,
No, that's
yeah.
cool. That's cool. That's a good way to approach it, I think. I really think it is. And so how long have you been using Nomad? Because I hear
Uh,
everybody, like, there's people in the room going, he's quick. He's and like they're really talking you up when it comes to Nomad. So about how long
oh,
you been in
really?
it? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you. I'm genuinely touched. Um, since November,
Wow.
I've been
Wow.
using
Okay.
Nomad. So yeah, nearly a year now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm learning stuff every day about it. Coming from like Lightwave, Cinema 4D, um, those sorts of programs, it's the workflow's quite different. You have particularly with like Blender, it's really good at hard surface modeling. Um, you have to dig a little bit to do to do the sculpting side. Sorry,
Right.
my
Oh, you're fine. Dude, it's late
I'm
for
wide
you. I
awake, but my
understand.
I know I'm wide awake, but my brain is sort of is trying to put roadblocks in the way
Yeah,
of
it's like
my paths of thought. But yeah, whereas Nomad isn't so intuitive with the hard surface stuff, but
hmm
there are workarounds,
yeah.
um and you can it's about relearning how you do things with this particular software
Okay.
to achieve the same sort of results that you get from that software.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's I'm learning every day from it though, and the forums are great, the community's great. Um, yeah, it's a good one.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, hey, everybody that's new that's coming in the room, we have lots of people coming in and out. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we are talking to Darren tonight from Raven's Crown Studio. You can find him everywhere. We'll give you all that information a little bit later in the show, so you know where you can find him and follow him. Be a part of his journey as he steps through just becoming a better designer, creating his own community and everything. There's so much. There's been such a flood of things here lately in his life, from my understanding. Just kind of this
Hmm.
big push of almost, I don't want to say marketing, but just kind of setting yourself up for people to be able to come to you for design, for just interactivity, for friendship, for all those things. What, so a lot of people always want to know, like, I'm designing, when is a good time to start, the Patreon? When's a good time to start a Discord? What makes you make that decision to move forward with those things?
Greed.
Ah, good answer. And done. Interview over. All right. No.
No, truthfully, and the guys will attest to this that I was so focused on making it perfect, and I wanted it to be the best it can be, so that when people start paying for my models, that they're getting something that's really good, really special, and um, but it gets to the point where you try and be so perfect that you're never going to release anything. There's always something that needs tweaking, needs
Yeah.
remodeling, sculpting, there's always something. Um, so
Perfect is
it
the
gets
enemy
to,
of good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. And you just need to say, sod it, I'm doing it. Let's just let's just go for it. And then um we just go for it, and then we can sort of feel our way through it as we go along,
Right.
and people will understand when you start out, there's going to be teething problems, and if they're in if that that interested in what you're doing, then they'll stick around.
Yeah. So how do you get through that? Because you hear so many people, like that, the imposter syndrome, or
Hmm.
you hear people like, It's not good enough. I don't understand why people like this." How do you get through that? How do you push through to the point where you're ready to publish, ready to do these types of things? Do you have a support system? Do you have people who just say, "Shut up, post it"? What, you know?
For real, yeah. My team, my guys and ladies, guys and gals, and all the spectrum.
Hmm.
Um, I've just got I in a very short space of time, I've made some excellent friends who have just helped me through this. And I wouldn't be here talking to you. I wouldn't be putting any, well, I would be putting stuff up on Patreon, but it wouldn't be the level it is without the guys pushing me through it and saying, look, here's what I'm experiencing, here's what I go for, what I'm looking for when I'm subscribing to things. So without their guidance, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd be a hot mess.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not sharing my desktop, because because it is just, you don't want to go there.
Right.
It's like a ball of string that's been unraveled and then just chucked into a carrier bag. That's my mind. So
No, I know the
yeah.
feeling, guys. And just for a little bit of insight on that, we were in the green room talking before the show, and I'm like, "Do you want to share a desktop?" And he's like, "No way, uh, I can't let them see that." But we got a lot of good comments in here. We got people talking about, "You get over it by drinking whiskey." I understand. I get it. I get it. Darren is a heck of a leader. You got a lot of good compliments, a lot of good people talking in here about you, and just enjoy your content, enjoy the things that you already do. I know you have so many people helping you, and I stepped in your Discord today and got to meet some of them, and some of them are brilliant designers in their own right.
Oh,
And
for real.
it's
Yeah.
it's really cool just to kind of see a group coming together like that. Well, give me just a second. I'm going to talk to the Peanut Gallery for a little bit, guys. But just for a reminder, we are talking to Darren of Raven's Crown Studio. We'll bring him back in a little bit. I've got a little bit of housekeeping that I want to do, and just always remind you guys that this is a value for value show. Asylum Life makes the whole community is a value for value type proposition. This is a place where we always talk about time, talent, and treasure. I want to add value to your life. I want to show you things that you need. I want to give you the information. I want to just walk through life with you and hopefully give you value so that you valued enough that you want to give back of your time, talent, and treasure. And the time watching the shows, being here, sharing this out, letting people know these things are happening, letting people know about Maketober, letting people know about the lives for 3D Printopia, letting people know about all the things that are happening. Nate and I, we're going to be redoing Hollywood Squares coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have a lot of fun, and Tooling Lee is going to be our center square. But there's so much we do in the community that we want to add. So you being a part of that is your time. Right. Then we have the talent. Some of you like to teach classes. We just had an AI class in our server. We've got some 3D designers coming in. We're going to be announcing hopefully next week the wine and paint that's going to be coming up at the end of this month. And so there's so much happening and that you can be a part of. Maybe you have a talent. Maybe you do like to design and you want to put a model up to be painted. Maybe you know how you want to teach modeling. Maybe you want to teach how to use OBS. Maybe there's things in a maker community that would help people be better creators and makers. And that is part of that talent. And I appreciate that. There's a lot of people who help me with the Discord movie night coming up at the end of this. So there's a lot of people giving of those talents. And then treasure. I don't talk about that too much. Once a week, I like to share the people who are the sustaining, donating people who come in and give to the show of that treasure. But that is your choice. You know where to find out things. If you don't know where to find it out, DM me and I'll let you know. But I understand those are special, and all of y'all are very, very special in the ways y'all give back to the community. And I really, really appreciate it. And that's all I'm going to talk about that, except for join Maketober. Maketober is a lot of fun. We've got so many people in the Maketober room in our Discord. Jump over there and become a part. If you don't know anything about it, all the information is in that room, and we're just posting every day about the things we're creating in the month of October. So let's bring our guy Darren back in and get into some more in-depth stuff about this. Is the part of the show I love, because this is the part where we really kind of get to dig into the life of Darren and why he is doing the things that he does. I was telling Darren, and I tell y'all the story all the time, that part of my life where I felt like a tool that people used to get things done. And I want to make sure that the creators, that the makers that we enjoy understand we want to know them, that we see them as real people, that we see them as people with lives. And it's not just about what we want from them, but we want to be able to hear from them and give back to them. So some of the things I want to know about is like hobbies when you were young, what in elementary school, like what's your earliest memory?
Playing with toy cars. There was a tree in the playground,
Uh-huh.
and it had all these roots and dirt track, and we used to we used to take our little cars and we used to race those down the track. So that's one of my earliest memories
That's awesome.
of
So that was like on your
prime.
knees running around the track and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's my earliest primary school memory.
that's awesome.
Also, uh, I remember the ground being frozen, and we used to hold on to our jacket sleeves and pull each other around and stuff like that. Yeah, it
Right.
was great fun as a
Uh,
kid. Yeah.
That's cool. So when it was cold, did you ever stick your tongue to a flagpole?
No.
No, no.
No, but I did get my hand stuck once.
Oh,
I did touch it, and my finger kind of got stuck to it, and yeah, I panicked, and I thought I'm not doing that again.
oh, of course, of course. I think we all did
What about yourself?
something.
Did you do it?
I didn't do the tongue. I'm kind of like you. I went, let's touch it
Yeah,
with the
right.
finger and see how that works. I didn't trust that. But yeah, that's just always interesting how kids think of that. It doesn't matter. It's gonna happen at some point in time. You know,
It's so true.
what are those holes
It's
in the
so
wall? Let
true.
me touch those, or let me. We all explore, right?
Oh, don't. I was in Belfast last weekend, because I have two sons, and neither of them had flown before, so we thought this is something we need to do, because my eldest son, he's 13, and he's got a football trip with his school,
Okay.
soccer
Yeah, yeah,
trip.
yeah.
Um, so um, so we went to Belfast, and we were in Five Guys eating a burger, and someone had spilt some drink on the floor, and this kid, he must have been about 3 or 4, and he stood there and he looked at the puddle and he stuck his hand in it on the floor, and then he went and licked it off his hand, and my wife and I were just watching him do it. It's some random kid, and I was like, oh,
That's
he
funny.
gave into his intrusive
Uh,
thoughts.
exactly.
It's so
And
nasty.
he'll be disease free the rest of his life. He just built up
Oh
some
yeah, for sure.
immunity.
That kid's immune system is rock solid, I'm sure.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So two kids, that's cool. We'll get into we might get into that a little bit later because those are always fun little stories. Now, so you were into toy cars. What other things, what did you like doing when you were a kid? Where did you go? Did you ride bikes? How
Oh
does
yeah, for
life,
real.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to love going out on my bike. My my first bike, I learnt to ride on a bike called a rally chopper.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that. It had
Mm-mm.
like a small wheel at the front and a much bigger wheel on the back, and
Okay.
then it had this gear shift that was on the crossbar. Um, I think it was affectionately known as the Nutcracker, because
Of
if you
course.
came off,
Of
it
course.
was it was in the exact position where you would, yeah, crack your nuts on it. Yeah, so I learnt on that archaic piece of machinery, and then I had a BMX. Um, I had a rally burner, which was a really popular BMX, and I loved that thing. Um, and yeah, I used to just cycle with all my mates, and just hang out by the stream, and you know throw mud bombs at each other, and
Yep. Yeah. So
it's usual kid stuff.
did you do BMX stuff like this? So, it's always interesting, like across the pond and here, and just kind of the
Hmm.
ideas that we have of childhood, of each other. And it's always interesting to find out similarities. Because I know
Yeah, right.
we had our bikes and we would go into the woods and we would ride up and down hills and build ramps and
Oh
do
yeah.
do all that stuff. And it's neat when you say BMX, were you doing those types of things as a kid?
I was trying, but I was a proper chicken, honestly. Just anything, I used to enjoy going fast, and but I was never any good at tricks. Like I couldn't do a proper wheelie. I used to like skidding the back wheel around and
I
stuff, but
gotcha. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
the small jumps.
Right. That's
Not
not the big ones.
so,
Not the
some
big
kids
ones.
would just go and fly off these ramps that we built using a bit of wood that we found and some bricks, and but I was too chicken for that stuff.
Okay. Did you move into skateboarding or anything at any time, or were you pretty much just bikes?
Yeah, no, I did. I tried my hand at skateboarding. I used to have a pencil board, the narrow boards.
Yeah, we called them banana boards, real thin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I had one of those, and as skateboards go, that thing was fast. And I had two dogs at the time, and I used to have them on the lead, and I'd have my skateboard, and I used to use them like get them to go like huskies and
Right.
pull me along and go as fast as I could get them to run, which looking back was incredibly stupid, but
Of
I
course.
loved it. It was there was a need for speed.
We had there was a hill near my house and we had the red wagons, right, with the
Oh
handle that you'd
yes.
pull and you flip the handle up and you sit in it. Well, we had a hill that we would ride down and it went straight
Oh
into a
my God.
graveyard. And so we
Oh,
that's that's where we rode all the time, going through the road through the graveyard.
oh, I love that.
So
That's so cool.
well, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
we had something similar. It was just it was a slight slope with that was just covered in pavement, but we used to call it the White Hill because the slabs were white.
Okay.
So and we used to just we all congregated there and just went down it as fast as we could possibly go, and
Right.
and that was our fun then.
Yeah.
That's
No, it
what we used to
was.
do.
It was. So, you kind of go up and then into high school. What kind of
Hmm.
things at school, what extracurriculars did you have? Um, eh, it's hard for me
What
to
did I
ask.
do at school?
Yeah, I don't know
No,
what to ask
it's
because I don't know
okay.
what you had to do. Because I don't have any scope or idea of what, like we would call high school, right?
Yeah,
Would be for you.
we call it secondary school here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Because primary is your, you know, y- I can't even think what ages you start now, sort of 4 to 10 or whatever, and then
I
you go
gotcha.
on to secondary school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've definitely got the ages wrong. I'm very bad at that sort
It's
of
all
thing.
good.
So
It's all good.
yeah. Um, but yeah, there were clubs and things, but I didn't really take part in a lot of that sort of thing. So I was always drawing, like whatever lesson I was in. I was always finding a space in my textbooks to doodle on,
Okay.
and I was obsessed with robots, and so I used to just draw robots blowing each other up and stuff. so,
That's
so
awesome.
my education wasn't so good.
That's and so you've kind of you've always drawn then. That's kind of been just something that's been in your blood.
Yeah, yeah. From my mother had an audio recording of me and my siblings when we were really small, and there's a moment in there where I'm screaming because my brother stole my pencil. So
Oh no.
so it's and I don't remember that. Of course, I was way too young, but
Right.
clearly I was drawing
Yeah.
before I can even remember, pre-memory. So
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. So high school, so you weren't really into sports or anything of that nature.
You say that I was a scrawny kid. I was really skinny, so um but I used to really enjoy playing rugby.
Okay.
Um there was something about just throwing myself at someone else and trying to bring them down.
Yeah.
It really appealed to me. So
Okay.
yeah, I wasn't so good at soccer, football, but rugby was a lot of fun, and we did a little bit of baseball, but it was more like a special occasion kind of
Right.
thing rather than, you know, a part of the curriculum, as it
Right.
were.
Okay. Okay. So it was
Yeah.
more of a rugby football kind of
Yeah, my
space.
school was very much a rugby school, so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I live near Twickenham, which is Twickenham is
Okay.
famous for its rugby ground.
Yeah.
It's home of English rugby,
English.
so yeah.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Okay. That lets me know. So when I was asking south of London, that kind of
Yeah.
that gives me a good okay. Awesome. Awesome. That's an interesting area. It's funny to me how, especially over the last, I guess, 3 years, we've seen with Wrexham football becoming
Oh
so
yeah.
popular over in the US, that there's so many sports and things in the UK that we're starting to see and understand, and how different it is over there. Like the whole
And you know, I love that. I love I'm not a sporting fan really, but
mhm,
there's sometimes something will pique my interest and I'll watch it. But I do love the fact that sports are being embraced by, you know, non-traditional fans, as it were. So,
yeah,
you guys across the pond are starting to embrace, so well, you have been for years, but you know, like you were saying about Wrexham, you know, it's really, I find it really fascinating that it's you know, traveling so well across the world that everyone's uniting over something that they enjoy, and
yeah.
yeah, it's great.
No, it
Yeah.
is cool. It is cool. So then high school into university, what did you now I I don't know, do people all go to university there? Is that kind of the standard or
Only if you get the grades.
okay.
So I did terribly in school. Not just because I had a bad attention span, but I had a lot of problems with bullying and stuff. I was bullied a lot from right from primary school to through my secondary school life as well. So academia wasn't a thing for me. I didn't want to be there. So
Okay. Okay.
you know,
So
um,
history boys is pretty truthful when it comes to education, huh?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, so so there was that. Where was I going with that?
No, that's okay. It's the brain is
Squirrel.
working. I know. Squirrel. There's that word. There's the word of the day. Um,
It's exactly what it is.
so
I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD, but I'm fairly sure I've got it. I do match a lot of the symptoms that I read up
I
on, and
I feel
yeah, who
like
knows?
90% of the maker community probably has ADHD. Maybe we'll go with the bell
Yeah,
curve and say
very
80.
much.
We'll drop it at 80. But so you were talking about being bullied and not getting the
Yeah.
grades, and I'm not sure. I don't know if that helps.
Oh
No.
yeah. So
Okay.
college. Yeah. So I didn't do so great with the grades, so I went on to so I applied for college, um, and uh, and I couldn't get onto the art course that was available, so I just took whatever was available. So there was a course for leisure and recreational studies, which was like about sports and things like that. And I did that for probably a month or two,
Okay.
and then a space became available on a design course, but by which point I was already months behind everyone else, and I just found it impossible to catch up.
Mm,
So I dropped out, but I didn't tell anyone. So I was just sneaking off to the local park and smoking cigarettes. That's what I was doing. Um, and then from there, uh, I got a job placement.
okay.
I had this careers advisor guy contact me, and and he got me two places to go to. One of them was a job placement where you go to college 1 day a week and then work the other 4 days,
Okay.
and another one was full-time education. And I applied to both. I got both, um, and then I had to make a decision. And the fact that one place was going to give me some money, that's what attracted me most. As yeah, as a young man
Yeah.
who wanted things, games consoles and stuff. That's where I went. So that was the genesis. That was the start of a career in design and stuff like that, and
Okay.
getting to know what that world is like.
What were you designing at first? What were you doing there?
That was the point of sale
Okay.
company. I was there for 8 years,
Okay.
um, as a trainee, um, and we used to. It was old school. They only had one computer, an Apple Mac, and we used to use it was the little square one with the little tiny screen on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Yeah, it
Apple
started off
II,
with
whatever that. Yeah.
yeah, cute little thing.
Yeah.
They quickly upgraded, but it was yeah, when I first started, that's what they had, and they used it to run a program called Quark Express, which was
Quark.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I know. Wow. Old words.
Typesetting and yeah, I know, right? We're speaking another language to
Yeah.
some of these guys, I'm sure. Um, but uh, they had that, and then they upgraded. They had this camera. I forget what they call it, but they had a dark room and they had this huge camera
Okay.
and used to typeset, used to cut out letters,
Oh
line them up,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
create a collage of text and imagery, and then you'd put them into the base of this camera, and then you'd line it up looking down the top and close the lid, take a shot, then you'd have to develop the film, and that would create
Yeah.
your singular image rather than all the little pieces.
Yeah.
And
I
so I
forgot about
started
that
off
process.
I know that was long as well. That was a long-winded. I can still smell the
Oh,
chemicals
I'm
as well. It
sure.
had a really nice smell to it. So that was where I started with that sort of thing, and then we started going digital, and it made everything quicker and
Yeah.
not arguably more stressful.
People in the room. This is funny. Nate's print shop's like, what's a dark room? Is that a place where you store your SD cards?
Yeah. It's a
That's
dark room
funny.
where you go to pretend to be Batman for half an hour.
Exactly, exactly. Well, and I was trying to think because you had Quark, and then Quark got purchased by Publisher, not Publisher. It was another program, and then Publisher got bought by Adobe, which turned into
Hmm.
InDesign. And it's like I was
Yep.
going, "Wow, that was a long time ago," and just figuring out that's kind of interesting. Uh,
Connecting those neural dots.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's cool. Probably when I was in college, I was working at a print shop, and so we were cutting out, but we were using copiers instead of the camera. And
Ah,
so we would cut out and use the copiers to create our final sheet, and then go to risograph, which was the old. It was like it was the early screen printing kind of thing where you had four colors, and so you'd run your first color, then you'd run your second
yes.
color,
Oh my
and
God.
so yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That is cool.
It's funny because there's a guy that runs an old printing press, and he typesets, he puts all the metal
Oh
letters
yeah,
in
yeah,
place, and and there's only a handful of these machines and workshops running now, so
yeah.
it's a real treasure to see the process, where it all began, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes you step back and think, like, we have so much time for things now, right? We have,
Yeah.
and we can fill our head with so much information that just wasn't available back then. And to
Hmm.
do a job like that was like, that was your life. That was
Yeah.
the focus of what you did, right? And
And I feel like that's I see that with you kind of only get one perspective with what you see on YouTube and stuff, but um, certainly that's the impression I get with the Japanese culture, is that once you have a job, that's your job.
right.
That's what you do. And in fact, I've heard that you have to hire an agency to be able to leave a job, because once you're in, you're there, and so
Yeah.
that's fascinating to me. But that's yeah, I like the ethics that they have in terms of like doing something, taking your time, and really perfecting it.
Yeah.
But obviously, in this culture, there's no time for that.
Yeah. It is
Not
hard.
anymore.
And I'm kind of like you. I study a lot of that culture, and I've really been into wabi sabi. Um, uh, I don't know if you've ever read anything into the Japanese philosophy behind wabi sabi and the impermanence of things, and how
Right.
things breaking down is beautiful. And
Yes.
yeah, always interesting. Anyway, we're probably boring the peanut gallery right now, guys. I'll talk
Sorry.
wabi sabi another day. But no, no, no. This is good stuff. This is we're just reminiscing and having fun, guys. Um I just as a reminder to everybody who's coming through, we are talking to Darren. Darren is Raven's Crown Studio. Now, you can find him pretty much almost everywhere, but the best thing to do is look at this, his link tree. So link tree Ravens Crown Studio, and that will get you all of the socials, all of the things, the Patreon, Discord, all of the stuff that's actually relatively new in his life. I know it's been kind of a whirlwind. We've talked about it a little bit. Now, your Patreon, talk to us about your Patreon a little bit. What are you trying to accomplish with it? You know, what's the purpose of starting it besides greed?
Um, yes, pure financial gain.
Exactly.
Um, no, truthfully, the money's a thing, but uh, it was finding a direction. It was giving purpose to what I enjoy doing, which is sculpting, and letting whatever's rattling around in my brain come to life. Um, so it was making real what is in my imagination, and sharing that, um and if I can do that, and other people can make physical what is digital initially, then that's it's a huge buzz. I see in my Discord, um every now and then, one of the guys will print one of the items and one of the sculpts, and it's a massive buzz. It's really, yeah, it
Yeah,
makes me, I don't know what the words are, makes me feel special in a way. Um,
I get
it's
that.
nice to feel appreciated. And yeah, so that's really why the Patreon was started, because it was just to give my work somewhere to go, somewhere to be and exist, and be enjoyed,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
you
and
know?
I can definitely I can understand that. And we're always struggling, whether it's to build a website to show our work, whether it's you putting it somewhere where the public can see it, even if it's just I don't care about money or I do care about money. You want a place where people can appreciate what you've done, or hopefully
Yeah.
appreciate what you're done, or even at the least react to what you've done, right? In some way. Because
Yeah.
I think as an artist, and
Yeah.
this is where, listening to you, how you talk about things, as like you like throwing yourself at people, you like teaching people as you're learning, you like all of those. There seems to be this
Yeah.
idea of wanting a reaction from people, wanting people to, whether it's
Yeah.
good, bad, or whatever, you want to make some type of impression. Would would that be a true thing for you? Would you say that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for real. I don't mind, being honest about that. I think that's who I am. You know, I've been in bands before, and can't lie, I like the attention. So, so if I'm getting attention, then it's, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm not. Um, I don't know. It's kind of there's a kind of loneliness to being a creative. You know, when you're on your own and you're doing when you're making your own little world and you're making your creatures or your designs and things like that, and you really get into it and you enjoy the process so much, and then you think, and when it's done, you're like, well, that's nice. Now
Right.
what? You know? And so for me, the next logical step was to share that and say, look, check this out. Look, I'm really proud of what I've done. I really enjoyed making it. What do you guys think? And I really enjoy the validation, I suppose. And I
Yeah.
suppose as humans, we all crave some kind of validation
Right.
through whatever we do. So
Right. And
that's yeah,
I think that's it. And I think the craving really comes down to relationship.
yeah,
I've always said, people, no matter who they are, whether they think they are or not, they're built to have relationships. And those
hmm,
relationships, as much as you hate to say it, are transactional. It's
yeah,
and when you meet other people who you both transact very well, you talk, you become friends, you become fast friends, you
yeah,
become, and it's this thing that feeds itself as you go. And
yeah,
I think as a creator, we miss so much of that.
yeah.
We spend so much time in front of a screen or so much time on an iPad or so much time creating. We miss that. And so putting our art out there and being vulnerable is kind of our way of creating those relationships. Am I going the wrong way with that?
No, I think that's a really accurate portrayal of what goes on, really. Um, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the way my mind is wired, I try not to. I'm quite aware of how transactional I can be, and I don't like that side of myself. I really try to. I really try to share and take an interest, and that's quite hard for me. It doesn't feel natural, and I don't know what the psychology behind that is, because I've always grown up with someone wanting something from me. So, it's that's kind of that's kind of how my mind operates. So I try to be as kind and as giving as I can. And I've got guys like Blazing in here and Frost, and they've really and I've met people before in the past that have been really lovely and but very transactional, and so I kind of social like a social butterfly. I kind of moved on and
Right.
gone to maybe find the next thing, and try and find some friends, and that's where I landed on this community, and it's like, oh my God, these are my guys.
Right.
So, and I know I've said that before about other communities. Like I was in a NFT space for a while,
Mhm.
and it was so overwhelming. It was so full on, and there were some nice guys, and I still talk to them on occasion, but they're kind of in that space and nowhere else, and so I I can't really. There's no sort of two-way conversation with those guys anymore.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas these guys here, I can talk to them about anything. It's not just about 3D printing. It's not just about designs. You know, with with Frost, it's always about dumping tea in the fucking water. Excuse my language,
You're
but
fine.
uh,
I love it.
but uh, but yeah, they've taught me in the short space of time that I've known these guys. They've taught me so much already about being a decent human being and sharing and they'll attest to it. I've got quite a tight grip on what my vision is for Raven's Crown,
Awesome.
and um but I'm desperately trying to loosen up, and these guys are as loose as anything. you know
Mhm. I get it.
um, So and they just want to help everyone, and
Yeah.
that's who I want to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and
that's
yeah, and there's something to be said for finding your community, and that's awesome that you found it. And I hope tonight helps you find more. And I
yeah,
hope,
me too.
I always like, joining communities together. And I think we actually promote each other's servers inside our Discord servers.
We do,
And,
we do.
I think that's important. I think when we find the right people, we need to introduce them to more people to find more right people, and
Yeah,
just let those communities grow. And yeah, that's an exciting thing. And I had fun being in your Discord server today. That was a lot of fun. Just sitting there listening to
you're
this.
lucky. You dodged Twisted. Twisted 3D is, and I don't know if you've heard about him and
Hmm.
his wife and his daughter. They're like, there's something magical about those people. They're from Wales and
Right.
they are pure entertainment. So if you ever come into my Discord and you see the name Twisted, stick around because you're in for a show. They are
Okay.
so fun.
I've
Yeah.
been around a little bit, but I may have missed some of the more twisted end of
Oh,
things.
you'd
But
know. If you met those guys, you'd know.
awesome, awesome. Well, look, guys, I just want to continue to say, I want to make sure y'all know this is Darren, Ravens Crown Studios, with an amazing Iron Maiden T-shirt. By the way,
Oh
we
yes,
have
thank you.
we
I got
have.
it for Christmas. Look, he's got a Santa hat
Oh,
on.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And you can find him over Linktree, Ravens Crown Studio. Be sure to do that. And also, I always like to plug the Discords. We both have Discords.
Mhm.
If you're in one, there's a link to the other. We are a community that we promote each other, and we just know that they're communities that we can trust. They're communities that we can be a part of. That we know weird things aren't going to happen. We're not going to have strange cross stuff, and people can join and come in and flow. And we're just trying to create a place where people can come. Mine, I say, is a safe place for crazy ideas, right? And so that's the asylum part. It's got the safe and the crazy, because that's life is a little bit
Yeah.
crazy and a little bit safe. And so join the Discords, be a part of it, get over there, get on all the socials, look at that link tree, follow Darren as he grows his community. And I think it's going to be a great success. A lot of people in the room love you. We've got people all across every platform. We have a little bit of a TikTok issue, and thank you guys for alerting me to that. And we solved that pretty quickly. But if you did miss any part of this show, it is available. Oh, it will be available over on YouTube. It will be available on Rumble, and it will be available where all podcasts are available. And you can listen to this, or maybe you had to come in and out, and you can hear the rest of the interview. Any last words, sir? Anything you'd like to share with your community or tell them?
Squirrel.
There you go. Squirrel. Awesome.
Squirrel.
Awesome. Well, man, thank you so much. I know it's like 2:05 over there for you right now. And
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it to me. I had a 2 hour snooze before.
oh, okay.
So I got home, I did some stuff, and then I said to my wife, I know I'm going to be up until 2 in the morning, and then I've got to get up at about 4 hours later.
Woo,
So
woo, yeah.
yeah, I thought, right,
This,
I'll go and do that. I'll go and have a snooze.
well, last question for the night before we go. Last question. What is your favorite ice cream?
Rum and raisin.
Rum and raisin. There you go, guys.
Hmm.
There you go. Say no more. All right. Well, Darren, thank you so much for being a part, and thank you for staying up with me. And I'm going to push you back to the green room. I'm going to close the show out, and I'll come holler at you real quick before I let you go. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, guys. Everybody say goodbye, and be sure to get in there, get into the Discord, and thank Darren for joining the show. I really do appreciate it, guys. And that's the end of the show. Hey, we've made another friend. That's always the important part, right? We do this so that we can get to know the creators we love to watch, the makers and the creators. And so with that, we got to know a lot more about his life, a lot more about where he comes from and why he does what he does and how he builds friendships. And so now you know how to jump into his community and to be a part. So thank you so much for being a part of this. Just remember, like we always say, we want to live life to the fullest. We want to grow in wisdom, and we want to show what we have learned generously. Guys, y'all have a great night. Thank you so much for coming and being a part. We will see you Tuesday. Next Tuesday is debate night. All right, so come into debate night, be a part. We've got some fun topics to discuss. And then in 3 weeks, we're going to be recreating Hollywood Squares. So I'll see you later, guys. Y'all have a great evening. Ciao.